session is to cover the methods, functions, and then we will cover the lambda expressions, we will cover the map function, and we will cover the filters, and then we will have a hands-on lab on this. Okay, so can anybody tell me what is methods? Okay, so method is a in Python is a function that belongs to an object. It is always called using object.method. Okay, suppose you are using string, right? So you are calling this method of the strings upper, lower, replace, split. You have a list object, you are calling this append, remove, sort, pop. Tuples, you have these two methods. Dictionary, same way, you have keys, values, items. Set also have add, remove, union, interaction, and a class also have custom defined methods. Okay, so whatever this methods, when you are writing a dot on a particular object, okay, you suppose you created one string object, right, or string variable, you are typing dot and you are calling some method, that is called the method, okay, which is called using object dot method. So that we are trying to say here. Okay, this is the main thing. Okay, and what is function? So this is method, right? So what is the difference between method and function? A function is a method is also a block of reusable code, but function, whatever we are custom defining by our own self. Okay, a function is a block of reusable code that perform a specific action. Like we write one method, okay, to identify number is even or odd, right? So why we are writing this method? If I am saying that I am writing this method, so what is the purpose of writing this method? The purpose of writing this method is that whatever the code we are writing here, that can be reused everywhere, wherever we want to use it, right? So this line of code, whatever these two statements I wrote here, just for example I am taking here. So if I need to call this method or I want to use this particular functionality, I need to write this two line of code again and again wherever I want to use this, call this even or odd method, correct? So to avoid this, to make this code reusable, you don't need to write this code again and again. So you are defining a functions, okay, and that functions you can call wherever you want to use it, even or odd, right? And you can pass the number to it, whatever the number you are passing. So the main concept behind this is it is whatever the code you want to write is reusable and that can perform a specific task. Okay, so like this method is doing a specific task, that it is identifying that the whatever the number we are passing is add or even. Okay, so we can declare different type of methods. Okay, so which is doing a particular things, like there are methods which are taking no arguments and which are not returning anything. The job of that method is to just do some operations. Suppose I am saying in this particular thing, if I am saying that instead of return and don't take any input here, right, I am simply saying that the job of this method is find even number up to 10. Okay, up to 10. So what I will do here I can use the range operator and I can say 1 to 11, right, and it will print it, or it will simply print those numbers. It is not taking any arguments and it is not returning, it's just printing some data. Okay, so once you will try to call this method, it is not going to return you anything. So this is the one way we are doing one methods. Okay, so this methods, whenever we are doing it, those methods are mainly for information purpose. Okay, so second thing is this function with arguments. If you are passing some argument to it, okay, and based on this argument you want to print some information, like the print is an example of that. Print method, what is the print method? You are passing some argument to it and it is printing some data. It is not returning anything, right? It's just printing it, it's just writing it on the console. Okay, so which is taking some arguments. So there are some methods which are returning the values also. Okay, if in this example if I say return even, it is returning it. There are functions where you can define the default parameters. If I want to say that I want to multiply a number by 5, right, multiply method, if I am writing, just give me 1 second, I will erase it for better use. I am writing one method, okay, which is multiply by 5. If I am saying one method ki multiply by 5, right? So what I am saying there, I am taking one number here, whatever the number I want to multiply, and I am saying that the another number multiplier equal to 5. I assign this parameter here itself. I am just taking one example. I am not showing the writing the Python syntax here. So whatever the number you are passing to it, suppose you passing 2 and it is multiplying by 5 and it is returning that value. So this 5 whatever I defined here, this is a default value. Okay. If you can override this value, instead of multiply by 5, you can simply say, if you are not passing this argument, then it will multiply by 5. If you will pass that argument, it will multiply with that particular number. Okay. So that is the concept of default arguments. So second thing is that functions with keyword argument. So this is a very nice thing in the Python. Okay. So what is this basically? If you are defining some parameter here, right? Let me take one example here again. Okay. Within this multiply method itself, I am saying that number 1, okay, comma number 2. It is taking 2 parameters, okay, and then it is doing some job. So in programming language, what you are doing here, number 1, you are passing some parameter always to number 1. So you are saying that 2 comma 5, it will multiply 2 with 5. Okay. But if you want to say that no, I want to first assign the value to this instead of this. So while you are calling it, you can say first you can say number 2 equal to 5 and then you can say number 1 equal to 5, which is called keyword arguments. So you are defining this arguments as a keyword. You can use in any order whenever you are calling this method. You don't need to specify always that first I need to pass the first value and then I need to pass the second. Okay. So you saw this in our print method, right? So one in this bracket also we can pass the keyword here, right? And those keyword during the format method we can pass that n equal to 1 or m equal to 2, right? So I can pass it in any sequence, but it will still use it here. Okay, I can pass m here, I can pass n there, right? So the same way you can call the methods or functions by defining the parameters and that order don't matter. Whatever you just need to use the variable name and you need to assign the argument name and you need to pass the value. Okay. So the next thing here is that a function inside a function. If I have function f1 which is doing some particular thing, within the body of this I can create another function which will do another job. Okay. So this is the concept of function inside function. So next thing is function returning multiple values. This example we showed while we were doing the example of tuples also, right? Function returning multiple values. So what usually we are doing till now, okay, either I will return a particular type of object. If I am saying that one method is there, f1, okay, f1 is a method which is returning me a list of object, okay. But what it will do, it will return you a single list, but I want to return list 1, list 2, list 3, like that. So you can return the multiple objects also, okay. So you don't need to create a class and then you need to assigning all those property, those 3 objects, and then you are returning it. Okay, you can directly also return multiple parameter from a function. So that is the multiple value things, okay. So next thing is the function with args and key args, right? So yesterday when we were looking into the help of the zip method, right, we saw this, the zip method was using this args parameter. Args, once someone is defining that star args for a parameter or star for a parameter, it means it can take the multiple parameter here. Here there is no limit. I can pass a1, a2, a3, a4, whatever the number of parameters I want to pass to it, I can pass to it. When you are saying keywords, so then I am saying that I am defining the keyword also while I am passing the arguments. Okay, like we said that here we are defining the keywords also here, and that order can be anything. If I am saying that one way is that I am passing 1, 2, 3, 4, then I am saying that a equal to 1, comma b equal to 2, comma c equal to 3. So that is the concept of the keyword arguments. Okay, keyword arguments. Fine. This is the arguments. Before I progress on the hands-on lab for this Python, any question on this functions, or I move to the next topic basically? Anyone having any question on this, whatever the different types of methods or the way we are discussing here, how to call a method, what are the different ways we can write a method here?
Anil, could you
Yes.
explain that last one again? Function with args and
Yeah, what args is doing? Args is saying that you can pass me multiple parameter. Okay, so you don't. So yesterday what we did, we use a zip method, right?
yes.
What we were doing, we pass the tuple list 1, or we pass anything. Suppose I pass tuple 2, tuple 3, tuple 4, like this. There is no such limitation here ki how many parameters you can pass here. You are passing usually. Okay, so limit I am not sure. I think there is such limit internally 256 or something, but usually if a method is taking that much parameter, the right way is to create one class and pass that object there. Okay, so in this way you can pass multiple parameters to it. Okay, so there is no such limit of the args. So here what you are doing, without defining the variable, you are passing it. In the kworks args, you are saying that a1 equal to 2, or sorry, a1 equal to t1, a2 equal to t2, and a3 equal to t3. Like that I am passing this. Here I am defining the keyword also.
Okay.
The print method, right? Print method, if however that much I am defining here, right? You saw this, correct? I am defining m equal to 1, n equal to 2, or l equal to 3. I am using m here, n here, and l here. I can define multiple. So this is the example of kworks. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
With the key. And if I'm trying to use it via the index, right? 0, 1, 2, then it means I am calling this args here in the print method itself. So that is the example of this.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So now we are moving to our next chapter, which is Python lambda, map, and filters. So lambda, we heard of this anonymous functions, right? In other programming languages also.
Yes.
So which don't have any name, but it is doing some functionality. Okay, suppose, and the syntax to use it like this: lambda, whatever the operations you want to do on this particular thing. Suppose for this x, I want to add x plus 10 here. Okay, if you want to assign this to a particular variable, say abc, then abc will work like a lambda, because this assignment you did to some variable, right? So now this variable becomes this function, the anonymous function. Then you can simply say abc, it will do the same job. Okay.
Okay.
So the second thing is the map. If you want to apply a function to each item, suppose there is a list, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 5 items in this list, right? I am saying that you multiply the number by itself. Okay, so if I am multiplying the number by itself, what I am actually doing, I am saying the square of that number, right?
Yes.
So if you want to do the operation on each and every method, what you will do? Otherwise you will iterate it and then you will do that job. You will write the square method, iterate it and do it. So within the lambda method, we can do this with the maps. If you want to apply a particular method to a particular, all the items of a table, okay, then we are using the map. And if we want to apply this based on some conditions, means you want to filter this data, and on the filtered object only you want to apply this method. If I am saying that wherever the even number are there, 2 and 4, only then apply the square root, otherwise don't apply the square root. So then we are using the filter method. Okay. Okay. So it's clear to everyone what are methods, what are the functions, and what is lambda, map, and filters.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we can jump to the hands-on for this. Yes. So what is method? So I already explained. Method is a function that belongs to an object. It is always called using object.method, right?
Yes.
What happens? 1 second. Okay, instead of going there, otherwise, if you just a second, this thing is irritating to me. So when I say, right, let me add one row here, just before, and I need to move this row. I will not spend much time on the methods because methods are the inbuilt things, okay, whatever are associated to an object, right? So this we already discussed, okay, like for if we worked on the string, we worked on the list, right? We already used here, right? Suppose whatever the methods are there, these are the methods. We called it as a method because they already exist there on the string. So here once you are saying that text equal to hello or ABC, right? And you are writing something on this text equal to ABC dot lower, okay, and I am saying text. Sorry, it was already lower. Let me assign it. So Satya, once you were not there, right? So there was one question from you regarding the immutable, right? So that I clarified in one of the video. Okay. So that I would
Okay.
like to take this question here because you are available now. So once you are saying that this is an immutable, right? So what will happen now? Okay. This is just a method, it is calling it, okay, it is not changing the value of this method. Okay, let me take one example. ABC equal to Anil Sehrawat. Okay,
Okay.
once you are saying that print ABC dot replace A with S. Okay, so it replaced it, fine, wherever the A is there, it replaced it. But this replaced is returning a value to you. Your actual object is not changed. If you will check the value of ABC, it is still Anil Sehrawat.
Unzip.
Yes, so that is the concept of immutable. So there is no, it will return you some data, whatever you want to return from it, but it will not modify your actual string. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the concept of immutable. So whatever these methods are there, whatever the methods, suppose once I am creating a string variable, right? So what actually did, if I assigned a string value to this, it internally created an object of string. So that's the reason I am able to call all these method of that particular string. Okay. So if I will say here, help replace, oh, replace is not a direct method, it will not give me the error. I need to use this. 1 second, I was trying to do something on this. One second, what I was trying to do, I was trying to show something to you, what are the different method of a string. Okay, I'm going to take the type of this is, first of all let me print the type of this class str. Okay, so you saw here, right, once I said this class str, this, when as soon as I assign this variable to ABC, it is returning that this is of a class string, this ABC is of a class string object. Okay, so that's the
Yes.
reason when I am doing some operation into this and I am saying that ABC dot to lower. Okay, sorry, lower not to lower, I use some other language string. So this is the problem with working with multiple language. Okay, sometime we use, okay, so what I was trying to tell here, what is the definition I told here, ki object dot method, it is always called using object dot method whenever you are calling a method. Okay, so that
Yes.
is the definition of a method.
Can
Fine.
we make some function where we really doesn't require any class name? Is it possible?
Yes, that is the function. That is the job of the function.
No,
We
like
did
that if
reusable code, right?
no,
Hmm.
that function you just showed, that
Yes.
is only callable from the class.
Yes.
That tool over is attached with that string class.
Yes.
Or you created another class altogether. There you implement some function, method, and all
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking, unlike the function language in C++,
Uh-huh.
where you know that we state without creating the class, we created a function and
Yes.
we use that.
Yes.
Is it possible here as well, or like it must to
No,
have a
no. It
class,
it,
then
it
we
is
can
it,
create
it
the
is
function?
it is possible, right? Why we discussed this. I am saying that define, okay, to lower is a function I am creating here. What is the job of this function? The job of function is that it will take one string and it will return the str.lower. Okay.
Okay.
So what is this? I created this method. I can use it here. Instead of calling this, what I will do here? I will say that to lower
Tool over,
and
and then you
ABC.
can
Sorry,
ABC.
yeah, ABC variable, right?
Yeah, got it.
So that's the same thing we are doing here. So I did not associate this method. So that I am saying this is a function. Now this is not a method. As soon as I will associate it to a class, then it will automatically become the method.
Okay.
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 Then it
Got
will
it.
got it via obj.method. Fine. So guys,
Hmm.
I will not spend much time on this because everyone is aware of all these things, right? What are methods, whatever existing objects we have. I would just like to show you one example of this class here, okay? Whatever we created. I created one class calculator, okay? And within this, I defined one method. So once you are creating class, so this is the syntax to use it because with which object you are associating it, you need to define the object like self here. We will cover this in our next object oriented concept, okay? Just for example purpose, I showed you. So once I am saying that obj.add now I created the object of this. You don't need to define the new here. That we learned in the set also once we worked on the set, right? Once we are
Okay.
creating a set, it just okay. We are not doing it. Okay, so we can directly instead of creating this s1 equal to set here, right? If I am saying that s1 equal to set, so then I am creating a set object here. Then it is adding 10 to the set. So the same way, what happens? Key error 2 s1 dot remove. Okay, it is trying to remove one item which does not exist because I only added the 10 to this. Okay, yeah. So the same way I was telling you, so to create an object you just need to initial mention that class name with the brackets, then you are creating the object of that class. And here if I am calling it, I am calling this method of this class. So this is an example of class methods. Till now whatever this is a custom class method. Those are also class methods, whatever we just learned about the string, the tool over and everything, right? These are also class
Hmm.
methods, but that is a inbuilt class of the Python, right? So here we have created our own custom class, and whatever the function we declared inside this, now that is working as a method for this particular class. Once it is exposing it, we will say that this class is exposing the add method. Okay, so
Got it.
this is the example of methods. Yeah, before I move, any question on this?
No,
Okay, fine, fine.
it's a fun.
So now we are going to cover the functions. So what? So let me go back, jump back to functions here, whatever we discussed. Okay, functions with no argument and no return value. Okay, so it's taking some time. So we will cover each and every type of method example here. Okay, if the time permits, we will cover the lambda and those things also, but we will cover it quickly. Okay, the functions with no argument, with argument, return value. So our main focus should be on this keyword arguments. Okay, function inside a function and returning multiple value and arg and keywords, because those are straightforward. If we will start writing this within that method function itself, we can do that. Okay, it's very slow. Okay, so just one example I am saying. So the way to declare one method is you need to use the word define, then you will give one space after that, then you will write some method, then you will close with brackets, you will close, then you will add the column, and then you, one second, this is a markup line. Yes, now it was converted to some other line. So I can say that ki 5 plus 10, or I am simply saying that ki print 5 plus 10, and I am saying that to call a method, if you will, yeah, this is the scope concept. Okay, if I will try to call this add here, I will get the error. That is the,
Yep.
it is not doing anything. Okay, because this method does not exist. Why you did not get the error? Because you did not call the add here. Okay, and if I will call this add here, and if I will try to call this add here also, it will go to the recursion for the infinite time, right? So just make sure of the spacing, otherwise you will create the problem. Okay, so now this method did not take any arguments, but it did a specific thing, which is was just adding two numbers. That is
Okay,
the,
so
yes.
Anil, can we start calling function or method differently? This is not the method, this is function.
This is a function, yes.
So, no, but just saying that you were calling method in between. So let's keep it separate thing. Like one is a method, one is a function.
Sorry, sorry for that if I use that
Yeah,
word.
that's
Okay, fine. So this is a function. This is a add function we created here, which is not taking any argument. It is doing a specific job. If within this I am saying that it will take some argument a and b, and now it is going to add the a plus b here, right? So this is the example of, so what I need to do here, now I need to pass the values here. I am passing 2, 3, right? Then
you left the bracket after print.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So now it will print this. So this is the example with argument, but again this method is not returning any value. Now if you want to do anything, so what for to return one value, what we need to use the keyword return into the function, and then we are saying that return a plus b, right? So now it will return this 5 here. If you, how you will believe that it return, because I can create a variable added equal to this, and if I will try to print this added variable, it will print the value 5 here. Fine.
So in the Python, we doesn't require to write the return type before the function like we do in Java and C#.
You don't need to.
We don't. Okay.
You don't need to. Okay.
So in that case, is it possible I can return multiple type from the same function?
Yes, that was the example I was telling you here, right? Return multiple type, right? Multiple values, return multiple values, right? Function, we will cover that example also.
Okay.
So this is the example of the function which is taking some arguments and which is returning some values also, right? So function with return value. Now I am saying that a function with default arguments. If to this b, I am saying that if someone is passing the value, then it's fine. Otherwise, it will take the value as a 10. Correct? So now if I pass this value, it will still give me the 5. But if I will not pass this value, then what it will give me? It will give me 12. So this is the concept of the default argument. Fine.
And how about it? Can you go back and write a is equal to 10 and let b is equal to empty? No, in the definition of the function, a is equal to 10. I just wanted to see that what it will do. Equal to 10. And leave the b as empty. Like don't assign some default value to b.
You are saying,
is it possible?
You are saying like this?
Yeah, remove the equal to sign as well.
No, usually the default parameter should be the
last one.
No, it should be the first parameter. Okay. In the Python, it's concept of the. Now what I will do, it will do the same job here again. 1 second. Parameter without a default follows parameter with a default. Yes. Without
now you need to write b is equal to 2. Add b is equal to 10.
No, 1 second. B equal to, I just pass one, just a second, what it is doing here. Your default parameter should be the last parameter. You can add the, yeah, that is the thing. That is the basic concept, right? It is not changing here.
Yeah. So that was, I just double checking.
Yeah, right.
Because
so you saw here, right? B, parameter with a default follows parameter with a default. Without a default is following it. So that is not possible. You cannot do this. It exactly tell the error. Parameter without a default, which one is B? It follows parameter with the default. So that is not possible. That is the reason this code is giving the error here. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So now what we were doing? So we were checking this default parameters. Okay. And here if what will happen in this case if I will do this?
It will throw error.
Yeah, it will throw error because I'm only passing the value of A. I'm not passing the value of B here, right?
B.
So now within the same example, I am not changing anything. Okay, I'm not assigning any default value. What I'm doing here, what it is saying that the first value is the A, the second value is the B, right?
Okay.
Correct. In this example, let me write it in some separate way. First print A, print B, right? Then we will do our actual things. I did not pass any value. Let me pass 2, 3 to it. Okay. What I did. Just a second. Okay, you saw here 2 is printed. Okay. Let me write in this value of A equal to this. Okay. And then it will be more clear. Value of B equal to this. What I did? Okay, because these are not strings, sorry. I need to either type it to string. These are not strings. So what I can do here, instead of this, I can use it like this. Okay, and I will say dot format. Let me copy paste this. Okay, value of A equal to 2 and value of B equal to 3. Okay. So what it did? It typed the value of A, type the value of B.
In place of comma dot.
Yeah, you are right here. Yeah, what it did, once I call this format, it convert this number to that. Yeah, you are right here. So A equal to 2 and B equal to 3, right? Value of B, it's not A. So what I want to tell with why I wrote this in this manner, I want to show you something. So what is happening here, the parameter A and parameter B, I am passing 2 and 3. So 2 is automatically going to A and 3 is automatically going to B. Now I am saying that no, B is 2 and A equal to 3. So now I am changing the order here, right? This is called the keyword. I define this variable here. I am passing B equal to 2, A equal to 3, and it will do. Now you saw here, right? A is 3 and B equal to 2. It write it correctly. So there is no restrictions here. Ki whatever the order you are using here, you need to pass the data in the same manner. If you are passing the arguments with the keywords, then it will take the data in that manner only. Okay. You got it? What I am trying to say here?
Yeah.
Right? Yes. So here I am defining this keyword of the arguments here, then I am assigning the value, and then I am calling this, so automatically the value will go to this. Okay.
Okay. Could you do me a favor? Can you write a B is equal to S, A is equal to L?
B equal to S?
S, yeah.
Yeah, A
in the quote.
Yeah.
No, in the quote.
Yeah, I got it. So now it will take it, it is a string here, because that is the basic concept here, right? Then it will try to concatenate those strings. Sorry,
no,
the bracket, yeah, I missed some bracket. 1 second. I am doing it. Fine. B equal to S, A equal to L, right? So it will concatenate it. ls, because whatever the values you are assigning to it, it will do it. Now I will tell you, instead of this, if I am passing one list here, okay, 1, 2, 3, right? And here I am passing that 4, 5, 6. So it concatenate those two lists here now. I pass the list, it will concatenate those lists and it created both these items together, right? I pass 4, 5, 6 to the A, so it's put the A data first and then B data second, okay?
Okay.
So,
and how about it like one we pass as a int? Okay, can you pass S into A?
okay, I got it.
Keep the B as is, keep the B as is, and just write it here S.
No, it will not
Yeah.
work in this manner. It will not work. It will throw you the error. Why it will throw you the error? Because if you are doing some operation on a particular thing, right? So those should be of the same type here. You will get the error here, okay? Can only concatenate string, not list to a string, right? Because A is a list and B is B is list, A is a string. So you are going to get the error in that scenario.
Okay, good.
You should know what actually, so that is the thing. So once you are creating a method, right? So you need to define the doc strings here. What is my method? Okay, you need to write a proper comment here. What is the role of this method? Parameter A is doing this, parameter B is doing this, right? If I am taking help of this zip method again, okay. So whatever is mentioned here, right? The zip object yield n length tuples wherein the number of iterable paths. So this is the definition of this. It is clearly telling it, okay. So we should write the proper documentations of a method whenever we are writing it, so that anyone is trying to that I am telling write proper comment, so that anyone know that these are of this type of purpose, this method I am using here. If I am using it for the string concatenation, I should say that pass the value of A as a string and B as a string, because this method is doing the concatenation of string only. If you will pass some number to it, it will add them and it will give you, it will not return this, okay. So what we discussed here, we discussed with arguments, right? He functions with argument. Now I am saying that he function inside a function. Okay. So what I did here, I created one function, okay, add. Within this, I want to create another function. What is the job of that function? The job of the function is that it will subtract these values, okay. Or first it will, instead of subtract, it will take square root of this value, okay, square root of the values, and then it will add it. Fine, it will take the square roots and then it will add it. When I am saying square root, so how to take the square root? Written a power 2 plus b power 2, okay. Clear? So let me take some, instead of trying this, I am saying b equal to 2 comma a equal to 3, okay. So now what I did, I created two methods. This is one method, this is another method. So now what will happen? Simply tell me if I will try to call it. It will simply give me the simple addition of a plus b, 5. It will give me the 5. It is not going to do the square root. Why it is not going to do the square root? Because I did not call this square root method here. If I will call if at this particular place, if I will say that I am calling the square root instead of this, okay, square root, and I am saying a comma b, and then I am doing this, okay. So let me comment this below return statement. I cannot have this to return statement here, okay. So now it will take the square root and it will add it. So what should be 3 plus 3 into 3, 9 plus 4, 13. It should give me the 13 here. Now it gave me the 13. So this is the use of function inside a function. Yes, Satya, you are asking some question, I think.
No,
okay.
I'm good.
Fine, guys. So you got it, function inside function.
I have one question, sir.
Yes.
Can we create multiple function in this, like
Yes,
square root?
yeah, you say square root, right?
And what is
Yeah,
result?
I am
Yeah.
saying that key you are writing one method also here, right? Instead
Yeah.
of this,
Yeah.
what it will do, it will say subtract. I am simply taking one example, right? It will
Yeah.
subtract the value from a minus b. Okay,
Yeah.
correct. So this is this, but within one method, right? So there are two things. Either you are assigning this response to a variable. Suppose you say variable equal to c, which is taking the square root, right? And there
Okay.
is a one variable here which is equal to d. What it is doing? It is doing the subtract. We will, yeah, it's a
Okay.
nice thing you bring it. Okay, we will cover our another example along with this. Okay. So
Okay.
what we did, I did the I call the square root method also, I call the subtract method also. But now what I am going to return, I will return both C and D. That is the example of returning multiple values.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you see this. It gave me 13 comma 1 because square root did the 13 and subtraction did the 1.
Okay.
So now it give me the multiple things. So now there are two things here. Once I call this method, okay, I can assign this output to finally E comma F equal to this. So because it is returning me two set of data E comma F, I can say print E and print F. Sorry. Fine. You saw here 13 and 13 assigned to E and 1 assigned to F. Clear?
Yes.
So what we covered till now? Why it is going to lambda every time? We covered function inside a function, we covered function returning multiple values. Till this particular stage we covered everything. Now we are going to cover the function with args and k args. Okay. So within this itself I can do this if you guys want.
Yes.
Okay. Just give me 1 second, let me recollect it. I am saying star args. Okay. So then how I will fetch it? I am saying that argument of 0, argument, let me copy paste it itself instead of this, argument of 1, argument of 0, argument of 1. This is just a method I'm just creating here. Here also I need to consider it. Here I want to, oh no, this is my definition here. Sorry, here I really don't need to change it. I can keep it as it is. Just a second, let me undo it. Here I don't need to make any change. Wherever the I'm calling it, there I need to use it. Okay. I'm trying to call it here for this particular thing. I'm trying to call it here for this particular thing, comma 1, and we are copy pasting it and we are trying to edit here. Okay. So what we did here, I think this is the way because I did this exercise very earlier. Okay. Yes, this is the way. But I did something wrong here. Somewhere I did something wrong because it gave me -1. Yeah, 3 I need to pass to, yeah, because I just want to compare it with the first example itself, right? So this is the way to call it. So I took the star args. It really don't know how many argument it need. But once you are saying star args, right, within your method, you should know that how many arguments you are preferring to this. So you can mention here, right? And or you should have some logic in such a way that whatever the arguments it is coming, it will do it. I can write a loop here, right? I can check the length of this argument and I can sum up that. I can write a single statement here instead of writing all this logic. Okay. So what I will say here, I'm going to delete this. Okay. Just for reference. Or what I will do, let it keep it as it is. I am copying it to a next cell and then we will do it there instead of deleting it. Maybe we can see some other examples here. So I am saying return sum of args. Okay. So what I did, in this case I am not returning the multiple values, I am only returning a single values. So I will take this example here. Okay. So it will try to, I said 3 plus 2. Oh, where I missed somewhere bracket? Yeah, some bracket I missed actually. Yes. So it give the 5. Now if I am passing some more values here to like this, right? Now it will sum up all this. Fine, because I know that this is my arguments with the list of parameter data I am passing to it, and on that list I simply want to edit. So you should know what way you want to use it. So you should define your method in the proper way. Fine.
Okay.
Now if I am saying here k args, right? KW args, right? There is another thing we were discussing here, right? KW args, right? Star KW
Yes.
args.
Yes.
So now what we are trying to say here, we are saying that we know that we are going to receive the data in this manner. Okay. So if I am saying that A plus B plus C plus D plus E. Okay. I am just taking one example here, and it will give me this data. I can simply write also this. I don't really need this bracket. Now I can pass A equal to 10, B equal to 20, C equal to 30, D equal to 40, comma E equal to 50. Fine. Then it will do its job. If I write the syntax A, B, C, D, I write something wrong here. Okay. Syntax wrong is here. Print E, name A is not defined. Okay, with keyword arguments, it is saying that it is not defined. What wrong I am doing here? Something I do. Yeah, that I am telling you I write something wrong here. A, B, C, D, because it did not. I need to define the arguments which are dynamic. Okay, which can have multiple values. Let me see my example, whatever I was doing for this session. What happened? Why it's that much slow? It will take a few seconds, okay, because this Jupyter is initializing this book. Some syntax, something I'm missing here, okay. So here I need to define the way what arguments we are looking for this and what type of dynamic arguments we are looking here. 1 second, I kept this example here in the last for this particular things, right? Keyword arguments, this is fine, args is fine, function with keyword length, this one. Yeah, this is the way, right? So I'm doing the same things here. So what I'm function with variable length keyword arguments, I'm defining this data to it. So it should know it. Okay, if I pass this data to it, it is printing me this data also, right? Whatever the data I'm passing to it. So what wrong I did here? Because this is the way. I'm saying that. Oh, one thing I did here, right? Yes. Yeah, I got it what I did wrong here, okay? Because I should know, okay, this is my variable, okay? Otherwise it will not try to give me the value of this variable, okay? I'm trying to access this variable A with this, it will not read this variable A. What I'm doing wrong here? I pass this as a list of data to this particular object A, B, C, D, E. And I'm trying to print this data here. name a, this is the concept of key args. So why it is saying here is something I'm missing here. Yes, that is the problem. Okay, because it is keyword with arguments, I need to use in this manner. I forget it because 1 2 3 is 4 A B C D, then I can see E also. Basically, when these kind of scenarios works, when you know that you want to do a specific kind of operations on these arguments, okay, and you know that this is the way, okay, it will do its job. Because this is keyword, so you need to fetch it via the keyword, whatever the keyword you are passing here, and when you are talking about the args, then you need to fetch it via the index. That is the mistake I was doing here. Okay, I did. Fine. So this is the way. So in this way, how it will help? I can move A and B, C, D anywhere, right? Because I am using these arguments here that we discussed in this earlier example also, right? Okay, I can move this anywhere. This is the way to use the k args. This is the way to use the args. Fine. So I think it should be fine today before we cover the lambda and those things, because in this lambda and things we may need some 20-30 minutes at least, right?
Yes. Yes, we'll continue tomorrow.
Yeah, we will continue tomorrow. It's already 11. Thanks a lot for joining this session. Okay, we will meet tomorrow. I'm closing this session today.